So with that being said, let's move right along here. So I'm going to go through a little bit of a PowerPoint. This is about data, how to get data in. Then I'm going to walk through a 9-step protocol about how to do qualitative analysis, both using AI and using more manual modes of operations here. And then we'll get right into the tool and then answer additional questions should there be any. So it's worth just taking a moment to talk about how the data is formatted. And traditionally, what we do is we interview someone. For example, we're asking interviewer questions, we have interviewee responses, and we have that interview, right? And then we just load up, interviews 1, 2, and 3, and so forth. And that's really this left-hand section, the interview part. No problem. But there's also other ways of organizing your data, and I just want to highlight that some folks want to enter in only by interviewer question. So I'm only going to take interviewer question number 1 for my participants and put that in. Those codes that AI uses will only use, because that's all they have, are the responses to that interviewer question. So, and ditto with research questions. Some folks want to enter in only data or narrative regarding research or questions. So just to know that there's different ways of putting it in. Put it in by interview, the traditional way, I'll say, really allows for this interconnectedness. The interviewee may have a response at the end of the interview that relates to the first interviewer question, and then these latitude by interviewer question or by research question. Those are really going to be very restricted and narrow in nature. So just to know, to be thoughtful about how I want to enter data. And I think, by the way, I should also say, I do think it's kind of fun to maybe put it in both ways. What are the differences in terms of these AI codes? Or, the way that I would do a manual analysis would be by looking at interviewee response 1 through interviewee response 10 and looking for those codes and themes. So it is interesting that you can play around with it, and I invite you to do that when and see what comes out. Okay. I don't think we want to log into Intellectus right now, though. Melissa, I think I want to just walk through briefly. If folks want to log in, that's great. That's fine. But I'd like to walk through these other 9 steps real quick.
Yep.
And then, all right. And Melissa, feel free to jump in, but I want to walk through these other steps first. Okay. So typical protocol to do thematic analysis. So first, we're going to, upload our data or have the tool, Intellectus Qualitative, transcribe the audio or video. Great. Certainly, to read and reread the qualitative data, you have to have a great knowledge of that for any manual coding, for sure, obviously, but also when you use any of the AI tools that I'm going to show you, how do you know if they're good or not? You don't. You only know if they're good if you have read and reread and said, that makes sense, okay? So I'm giving the whole arc of the thematic analysis. We're uploading, we're reading, we're getting a sense of things. By the way, great time to put memos in, early reflections, things of that sort. Okay, the next step is to generate codes. Now, we can do that using auto coding, and it's very cool because the tool is going to derive those patterns with very little information, derive those patterns, and then name that code and describe that code. That's going to happen. And then I'll also add, we can also do this in a manual fashion or just get a little bit of assistive AI. So there's kind of, with regard to coding, I can have it be fully automated, partially automated, that is, I identify the pattern and the AI names it and describes it, or just manual. So those are the three modes of coding. Then in step 4, with these quotation marks, really it's a time to refine those codes. You can look at the AI naming, describing, the excerpting as suggestions. These are not handed down by God. These are things that hopefully are moving folks along in their analysis. So evaluating or refining those excerpts and codes. Next, we do the same exact process with thematizing. So we have 3 modes of thematizing. I can have the AI grab those themes, okay, from the existing codes. Okay, I can have the AI suggest a theme name and description for codes that I suggest, or fully manual. So again, we have these 3 layers of thematizing. And then there's the evaluation of those themes and descriptions. What's happening there? The same darn things with the codes. Having a good sense of the codes, then I'm going to say these suggestions of the theme names and descriptions make sense, or maybe not. Okay, or I don't want them at all. So, the thematizing process. Then we've done something unique, which is now tie those themes, however they were derived, tie those themes to the research questions. It's another unique part of the tool, which is I didn't just thematize these for the heck of it. I thematized these transcripts and this data to examine a particular research question. Well, how do those go together? That's what that conduct research question theme alignment does. And it adds the rationale for that. So, what are some ways of thinking about why that theme and that research question go together? And I will demonstrate that. The 8th part is evaluating that alignment. Just like with the whole process, these are tools we're talking about. So we are really looking to evaluate that code theme alignment, and then we want to download that document. And then we'll get to the Q&A. So without further ado, let me just get out of this. Okay, and then let me get to let me get to this right here. Okay. So let me get to intellectus qualitative. Let's see here. Right here. Okay. And I will put that up top. Okay, doke. So first things first. So we're going to create a project. Okay. So, by the way, I mean, this isn't obvious, but so this is a web-based tool kept on Amazon servers, AWS. Once you so get logged in. So let's just take a moment to see if everyone can get logged in. Okay, just take a moment for that. If you're having trouble, please raise your hand. All right, so Melissa, if everything is cool, I will continue on. Or if folks need a minute to get logged in, that's fine too.
Yep, you can go ahead, and then anyone that needs help will just help you in the Q&A.
Wonderful. Okay, so first things first is to create a project. Okay, and all right, we're going to name it Sam. We're going to put in the purpose statement and research questions. So these are useful, particularly the research questions and the AI aspect. So let me just grab the research question, and I have them sitting here. Well, here's the purpose statement. This is about digestive disorders, folks' experiences with digestive disorders, and how they cope, basically. So that's the purpose statement. We go to research question 1. What are the experiences of people with digestive disorders? Put that in here. And I'm going to add a second research question. Okay. How do folks with digestive disorders cope with them? All right, I'm going to load that up. and then submit. Okay, so now I have the project named and research questions and purpose in there. Now I want to go ahead and add transcripts. I can just go here, upload files, and then it's sitting on my desktop. And I have this guy and this guy. I'm going to open those. So you can upload really PDFs or Word docs here. You can upload audio or video files here, and it will transcribe it. Or you can type or paste in a blank transcript. So here are two interviews. Okay. One is with Brett, one is with Sarah. Okay. And I think they're roughly, I want to say they're 10 pages each, roughly. So we have the data in. Let's move into the, and folks, please, if you need me to slow down, just let me know. So let me just give a moment for folks to upload that data, because that is a moment to do that. So just so everyone can follow along, just take a breath there. All right. Okay, so all right, so Melissa and Janine are answering these things. So you're logged. So folks should be logged in, should have named a project, and should have uploaded the research questions and the data. And that's kind of where we are at this moment. So there is the intent to have folks actually do some of their analysis here in this workshop. I know we have lots and lots of people, but I think we can get it done. Okay. All right, and then of course this is all being recorded, so so you can go back and look at it. Okay. All right, I'm going to sally along here. Okay, so let's go to the coding process. So let's talk about and actually do 3 ways of coding. So one way of coding is fully AI. Okay, so I click on the AI tools and then click inductive coding. What the inductive coding is doing, as I mentioned earlier, is that it's finding patterns in this data, is going to excerpt those particular patterns, and then it's going to tie a code name to that pattern and a description of that pattern. So it does take, on average, 1 minute and 11 seconds. Fortunately, it can take 20 pages. It can take 500 pages. So it really does a lot of work in a very short amount of time. And sometimes it takes 3 minutes, but you know, I've spoken with folks that it's taken 3 weeks. So it can certainly stop a blank page kind of process. So the AI has found 5 codes and 71 excerpts, and I'm going to apply that to the project. So here are the codes over here. So you can see here's one code, and I'm going to go. So the next step of this would be, I'm going to look at those details. So I want to see, does that code name make sense? Does that code description make sense? And do these excerpts hang with those codes? So that is the process to start using that AI. Again, it's a tool, but the human analyst is the critical part of this. Absolutely critical. So you can just look at those 12 excerpts and see if they make sense. Okay, that's fully AI. Now I can also have an AI assist. As it turns out, some folks are great at identifying the patterns, but not great at naming the patterns. So I can highlight a particular excerpt and then go to this add code and AI assist. This is just taking that excerpt that I think was important, okay, and then it's going to name and describe that that code. And we did just switch up some LLMs, so that might be the aspect of that. Okay, so just to know, it will name and describe of that excerpt. You can also add codes manually by going to the manual input, naming the code, example code, okay, and description. All right. And then here's my example code. I can then tie that particular excerpt to that code like that. So now that code and that excerpt is tied together. And that's basically how we grab, that's how we decide on different codes. Okay. And I probably should have had a little bit better of a name for that. Let's just see what the, let's see. Okay, so let's just name this code, fear of unknown. Fear of unknown problem. Okay. I won't put a description there for the moment. Okay. And close that out. All righty. So there we have codes and we have vetted them. The next process is on the thematizing. So to grab themes, I can use fully AI, okay, which is down in automatic thematizing. And there's a few things happening here. So one is we use a statistical analysis to come up with the optimal number of themes. Okay, that's one part of it. And then the second part of it is once we have the optimal number of themes based on those 6 codes, how do they go together? And isn't that interesting? The one that I made up kind of goes by itself, okay, and named it. And then the other 5 AI codes went into comprehensive management of digestive health. You can identify that human versus that AI business. And then you can update the number of themes there, add to project. So here I have this theme and code here, and then this theme and codes here, okay? All right. You can also add themes with AI Assist, okay? We'll give that, we're going to give that a shot, even though we've been changing, okay. So can identify some of these. Let's just see what happens here. All right. Give that a shot. Okay. So here's another theme with a description. Okay. And then do you want to reassign those? I'll say no at the moment. Okay. Or you can also add themes manually by putting in the theme name and description. So those are the 3 modes of thematizing: the fully AI over here, the AI assisted with which themes, excuse me, which codes go together, or with the manual mode. So those are the 3 modes of thematizing. Alrighty. So maybe I want to give everyone a moment to kind of do that, ask questions about it, or put it into the Q&A.
And I think while we're waiting for more questions to come in, a few people asked if they didn't enter their research questions, how do they go back? So can you show them how to go back to projects and do that?
Yes. So I'm going to go back to projects, and then Sam, and I'm going to go to here, okay, and then go to update. Okay, so go to my 3 dots and update, and then here I can, I have my project name, and then I can edit my purpose statement, okay, or research questions right here, or add additional research questions. Okay. I'll accept Jade's. Okay, so let me just stick for a moment here. Okay, so moving through, I just want to say, so we've been working really with in the transcript tab. We could have made memos manually through the process. Okay. And all of that memoing and everything that's happening is being documented in the memos tab. So you can create a code, and so forth. Excerpts, you can see all the excerpts that are here. You can download those excerpts. By the way, we are coming up with a way to do integrated reliability by providing you with a link that you'll have the excerpts and the themes that you can send out to other raters to start to see if there's agreement or not with what you and other folks have said are the alignment between the themes and the excerpts. Okay, let's get to the insights document. So this is a place where we really want to kind of start shaping that results draft. So one part of that is the research question rationale. And here, so I have my two research questions, and I can use AI to suggest which themes, okay, go together, okay, with that. So what the tool has done is it said, oh, okay, for that first research question, these two themes should go together. Submit. So what are the experiences of people with digestive disorders? All right. So what's happened here? Here we have the research question, okay? And then here is the theme that goes with that research question. And here is the rationale for why that theme goes with that research question. Okay? And we can do the same thing with the other, okay? The other research question. Use you can actually you can have AI suggest it, or you can tie it together yourself. Hey, I think that theme goes with that research question and submit, and then let the AI develop that rationale for why that RQ and that theme go together. And here's that rationale. All righty. And then we can just go to download the document. Okay. We can go to download document. And in that downloaded document, let me just. And in that downloaded document, we have our research question and then our rationale, okay, and ditto, and a reference. I could have also, I didn't do this, but I will now. I could have also gotten other kinds of information here. So maybe I should have done that. So here, I could have gotten theme. If I wanted more information around the themes, I could have said, okay, here is a theme, okay, and here are some representative excerpts that I want to go with that theme. So based on how you want to present your results. And I can have here my theme. This is the description of my theme. These are the codes and excerpts within, okay, and then my supporting excerpts. I also could have done had an excerpt list to show all of my excerpts, and I could have had my memo list as well. All right. And then the cap, we're really kind of revising that to do more of a manual process. We're just more comfortable with that. All right. So I think I want to stop for a moment and then just open up for questions. And I will, let me see if this is in the Q&A. Okay, so let me get this one. So some time ago, I attended a workshop with Dr. Lanny on a previous version of Intellectus. So we do have a quantitative tool, Intellectus statistics. Happy to show you that, but this is a qualitative workshop. The intellective statistics workshop is coming up in Melissa, is that a week or 2 weeks out? Somewhere in
So
there.
the quantitative workshop is every first Thursday of the month. This person looks like they attended a qualitative
Okay.
workshop, and we've added the thematizing. And just so everybody knows, anything with AI always requires a human touch. Okay, so you want to go in there, you want to read and reread and make sure that it makes sense. You're the expert, so you need to make it your own. Okay, that's just an important thing that
Absolutely.
comes up with all of the AI stuff.
Right. Because we've done a lot to minimize hallucinations, but only you're going to know at the end of the day, this is exactly what's in my document. So there we go. All right. Does the transcription translate the foreign language to English? It trans. Let me. I don't know the answer to that question.
It does not do
It,
translation.
but it does the. It transcribes different languages and different dialects of languages. So that happens, but it's not converting. I mean, I think I would just use, Google Translate or something to get it into English and then edit that document. How do you ethically let journal editors know you use the software to help with the analysis? Do you need to mention it in your write-up? You know, I think be transparent. So yeah, I think that these, as I've said, and as Melissa has said, these are all suggestions. So, we're using lots of LLMs in this process, depending upon what the need is. So there's all, there's several LLMs going on here. So we couldn't even say, we're using this LLM. So I would just say, yes, we've used Intellectus Qualitative. Here is the reference here to assist with suggesting, codes, themes, and rationales. I want to use Intellectus Qualitative for my upcoming dissertation this fall, 24-25. Great. Well, my first comment is I hope it doesn't take a full year, but for someone that's taken 2 years to do mine, I get that. How can I have access to the tool after today? Well, you can purchase it. I think it's $175 for the year or something. I guess I should put a, shameless plug in there that, a few shameless plugs. It's about 175 or $185 a year. When it comes to groups of 10, it's dropping to $120. And when you get departments involved, as I hope students are telling their faculty and faculty are telling their colleagues and departments are telling other departments, they drop down considerably. So the prices. So it's based on size, but for one-offs, that's absolutely fine. Melissa will type into everyone how to go about purchasing that, and then should also say that there are going to be video supports with this. There's 20 qualitative lessons that can go with this as well. All right. Let's see here. Are there sharing capabilities with more than one person working a project? Great question. Thank you for that. So under projects, you can go to these three dots and go to share. Type in colleagues or faculty or other students' email addresses and invite. That project's going to go to them. They have to have the tool. And then and you can at the moment just work in a serial fashion rather than Google Docs. There's a lot to that where we're working on it at the same exact time. But that's one way of sharing it with others. Okay, so let me go to chat.
I have just a quick
Yeah,
comment. We
please.
have a lot of people asking how to purchase at the department level for
Okay.
themselves. Ashley's on here. She can help you with all of that. She's put her contact info in the chat. So please feel free to reach out to Ashley with all of the questions about how to get access to the tool.
There we are. And Ashley, I didn't introduce you. Ashley Burrow, wonderful. She's very responsive, and she'll get back to you and assist you or your department or institution with that. So good afternoon, Ashley. I didn't know that you were on, and so there we go. All right. Other Q&As. You mentioned qualitative mentor, but I need a point with a quantitative mentor. So you can Janine is in charge of the consulting. And Janine, if you'd like to put in your phone number and email address, we do definitely have quantitative consulting. We have a quantitative tool. Okay. All right.
We have a lot of questions about consulting and if this subscription is accessing both tools, things like that.
Right. So you have to, well, go ahead.
So they're separate. You have access to the qualitative tool. You can also have access to the quantitative tool. And again, Ashley can give you information on all of that. And then the consulting for the qualitative tool, we do have that available. And I'll put a link to that page if you want to schedule something in the chat.
Wonderful. What is the cost of the quantity? Okay, so, okay. On the privacy issues, what happens to my documents once we delete the files? They go bye-bye. So one of the wonderful things about enterprise level APIs or connecting our tool to Amazon or Chat or any of these other ones is that they don't use any of the training data. I guess I can do a quick, let me just do this. Okay. All right, so let's go to this. Okay. Okay, so I want to go to intellectual statistics. I think this is where I want to go, and I'm working on a small screen, folks, so apologize my slow. So under here, under FAQ. So just to know, is my data used for training? No, as a short answer, security. Basically, these things are encrypted. I don't know why this is not there. So basically, everything is encrypted when it's stationary and encrypted end-to-end in transit. If you type in your email address, we can send you something as well. But I'm not finding it right off the bat here in the way that I wanted to see it for some reason. Right here, done. Okay, so this is under the FAQ, under intellectual statistics, but it's the same process for intellectual qualitative. All right. Other questions? I input my own codes to start, and then I ran the code in thematizing component. Is it possible to follow that up with AI generated codes? And then expand to themes. So if you have your own codes already, I didn't show it, but I will now. I can go to this. Let me do this. Let me go to the project. Okay. And then what I can do is I can upload a code book. I can import code. So let me show you the code book for starters. Let me go to the code book. So here is a code book. So here is the name, and these are the codes. This is not the best looking shot of this thing. Don't show again. So here are the code names and code descriptions. So assuming you have a code book already, okay, you can go to the, you can go to import and then go to code book and open. So here are unassigned codes. So you can actually upload your own codes and descriptions. Okay. And then we should have a template. And Melissa, if we don't have already, we'll certainly will have one, a template of how the code names, code descriptions, and our themes should be uploaded. And then you can go to the AI tools to deductive. So this is going to be using your existing codes and descriptions, and then going out into the transcripts to find additional excerpts. So that was part of your question, and I'll get to the other part of your question in a moment. So let's give this just a second, or a few seconds, as the case may be. Okay, so for those codes, okay, it found an additional 88 excerpts. So that's one way to grab um, uh, additional excerpts. But that wasn't your full question, but I just wanted to show you the deductive aspect of coding. So I input my own codes and ran the coding and thematizing component. Great. Is it possible to follow up with AI generated code? So that's exactly what I did. And then you could expand the themes from there. So I think I did answer most of that question. And then certainly, Sean, shoot me an email after. Are you using thematic analysis? What if you wanted to use a different type of methodological approach? Um, like case studies or ethnographies, or what other kind of data do you have there? So I'm not sure, um, uh, Kamisha, that, if you can help me with that. Uh, can you have figures represented for codes and themes? You know, we have work to do with the visualization part, so at the moment we don't have figures to do that. And Kamisha, so what kind of data would that narrative analysis have? Um, so really, I think this is more kind of traditional thematic analysis. So um, so I'm not sure how we can get there right now. Other questions, and I know I didn't answer your question fully, but I'm happy to revisit that, Kamisha. Other questions at the moment? Melissa, are there other questions?
I don't see any right now. We can give
Okay.
a few minutes
Fine.
to have more come in. Maybe in the meantime, go to the slide so people can see contact information for Ashley, because I've been typing that to a lot of people and she's put it in
Terrific. Thank you for that. So here, let me just close this out for the moment. Okay, so here's some contact information. Oops, I should have just went from the current slide. Do that. Okay. All right. All right, here's our contact info. And we'll be doing this on a monthly basis. You know, we'll be doing a quant overview and a quant workshop and a qual interview and a qual workshop. So please do share. Melissa, do they have a email to share with other folks so they can sign up for any of those four?
Yep, and we're gonna send a follow-up email.
Okay.
It's gonna have the other webinars in it, the recording to this webinar, and then info on everything that we talked about.
Right. So anonymous, how would you describe your product strengths compared to competitors like in vivo? You know, I don't spend a lot of time with competitors. I mean, I think about what is the arc of our thematic analysis and try to do that really well. I'm sure in vivo is a wonderful product. Um, we have a DNA of simplicity, and I don't know if others are really doing what we're doing at this moment. I think we are kind of leading the pack in terms of innovation here. So I can't speak to that. What I would say is try this, okay, and come back to us and tell us what you think. Are the strengths and weaknesses of our products compared to others. So, okay, I wonder if you have thoughts. I'm doing my own coding, fine, great, and I found a number of codes and themes. Awesome, perfect. So use the tool to help keep that organized. All right, no problem, no problem. Okay, all right, thank you. Thank you. Appreciate the feedback. Other questions at the moment? And I think we're kind of coming to the end.
Yep.
A couple more questions coming in. Excellent. Thanks for the overview. Great. Thank you for the response. Rachel, always a champion. Thank you. Anonymous, please leave your email address so Melissa can get back to you. Thank you, Christina. Thank you, Joy. What privacy is offered for data? So as I say, there's encryption along the whole way, and any of the AI aspects are not used for training. Okay. You're welcome. Thank you. Thank you all. I'm going to wrap up. Thank you all so much for your attention. Almost everyone stayed on the entire time, and that's just nice for me and my team to see that. So thank you all. Follow up with us. We'll follow up with you, and I'll just wish you all a wonderful rest of the week and a wonderful weekend. And thank you all for your information. If you have additional questions, certainly just email Melissa or Ashley or Janine, and we'll get back to you and so forth. So I think with that, we'll put a close to it. Any final thoughts, Ms. Moran?
I think that's it. Again, please feel free to reach out to us and we'll send you this recording as soon as it's rendered.
Wonderful. Thank you all so much. Have a great rest of the week. Thanks. Quiet. Please share it with others. Please share with others. Please share with others. Terrific. Thank you all. Bye-bye now.